Thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship podcast, where we simply adore anything and everything metaphysically and healing based. Every morning, I wake up and feed my cats, and then come downstairs, and I'm the first one up, and the house is quiet. And I have a routine that I go through every single morning without fail. And the other morning, I got up, fed the cats, made my way down the stairs in the dark, walked into the kitchen like I always do. And as I went around the corner of the kitchen, I heard, "Good morning, Mama." And it was my son. He had woken up very early and couldn't go back to sleep. And it was a school morning, so he just decided to get up. And he was sitting on the little couch that we have in our kitchen. And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "Oh, baby, I didn't know you were there. What are you doing up?" We had this beautiful conversation about how his morning had gone. And as I was getting breakfast ready for the kids and filling the essential oil diffusers and moving through my typical morning routine, I was chatting with him. And it wasn't until I went back upstairs to do my first meditation of the day that it really hit me what had just happened. For years, I mean years of my life, if I wasn't expecting someone to be in a particular place, or if I was surprised by them, I would scream, I would jump. If I'm being 100% honest, it always included a swear.
What's wrong with you, you little piece of shit?
And as I was sitting in meditation, I was thinking about how different the experience was that morning. I didn't jump. I didn't scream. I didn't swear. I wasn't surprised. And I got thinking back about a prior relationship that I was in, where every time that individual surprised me, whether it be that I was concentrating on something or whether it be I didn't know that he was there, I would scream and jump and swear. And one time he got so mad at me and told me how ridiculous it was that I would get scared.
Shut the fuck up, goddamn.
And I remember sitting and saying, I don't have conscious control over that. I'm not trying to scream. I'm not trying to be scared. It's just what happens. I didn't have conscious control over it. And that was the thing that really, really stood out to me when I was in meditation. I no longer startled the way that I had for all of my life. For all of my life, for as long as I can remember. I have been somebody who I would consider that I startled easily, in particular if I was focused on something. And even though I was focused on something that morning, I didn't jump, I didn't scream, and I didn't swear. And I was sitting in meditation, really thinking about this. It hit me. The magnitude of the shift that I have been through in regulating my nervous system, and how somatics was the thing that helped me get there. And this was such a small example, and yet such a huge demonstration of the difference in regulation of my nervous system. You see, I ran an anxiety pattern of my nervous system, which means that I didn't inherently know that I was safe, which is why it was really easy to startle me, because I already had a bunch of activation in my system. My system was already on high alert looking for the danger because I didn't know that I was safe. I had so much trauma stored in my body and in my nervous system that I didn't know that I was safe. And so my nervous system was constantly on. It was constantly activated. And to have this experience of walking into the kitchen, and if that had happened a couple of years ago, I would have screamed. I would have sworn. And I definitely would have jumped. And to be able to witness the growth that I've been through was such a beautiful thing for me. And it's not that I mind jumping or screaming or swearing. None of that is really a big deal. But having a dysregulated nervous system is so much more than that. That's just one expression of how dysregulated my nervous system was. And the kind of ease and peace that I get to experience in my life now that I never even knew I was missing before is something that's hard to put words to. It's not about not being startled. It's about recognizing that I am inherently safe and that I'm safe inside of my body. And that shift has had an enormous ripple effect in my life, in my relationships, in my friendships, in my business, in my relationship with my body, in my relationship with spirituality, in my relationship with myself. And so while this seems like such a small thing, and possibly a funny thing to be recording a podcast about, it's so much bigger than that. And for all the years of my life that I would jump or startle or scare, I didn't recognize that it was so much bigger than that. That there was so much that a dysregulated nervous system was impacting. It wasn't just the startle effect. It was literally everything in my life. And having a more regulated nervous system has impacted everything in my life. And so if you're somebody who startles easily, I just wanted to float it out here that maybe nervous system regulation is something that you want to lean into and explore. And I don't believe that there's one right way to do that. The form of somatics that I was trained in, I find incredibly powerful and empowering. But there are a million ways to do it. There's no right or wrong answer. But a regulated nervous system is a dream come true. And I hope you have a beautiful morning, day, evening, or night, wherever it is that this podcast is finding you.